feeling cold against your skin. Running through the chaos, letting all the sin. Temptation in a bottle, ready for the night. Craving for the thrill, it's time to ignite. Dark desires burning bright, echoes in the dead of night. No retreat, no looking back on this heart attack.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I wasn't expecting to be on for like, I don't know, another hour or so. But that's just the way things go sometimes. We have to get on at a random time. So we're on a little earlier tonight than we have been in a while. But that's okay. We got a lot of things to talk about, including new surveillance images have been released of Melody Buzzard. But there's a catch, and I'm going to tell you about it. A very strange catch. I want to know what you have to say about it because there's something odd going on here. I think there was already something odd going on, but it's like really odd now. I don't know where this child is or if she's alive or not, but yeah, it's getting stranger by the day. Yeah, let me get set up. Hey, good to see you guys. Good to see you. Saturday afternoon in Melbourne here. Saturday afternoon, pretty drab afternoon in Melbourne. It's like grey outside. It's not very sunshiny for spring. Almost looks a little wintry to be honest. It's a little blah outside, and it's you would think it would be nicer because it's spring already, but not so much yet, not so much. But this is the new images that have been released of sort of the last proof of life for Melody. This is sort of the last photos, and they were taken at that rental car office where her mother rented the vehicle. Here, I'm going to blow it up and I'm going to show it to you. There you go. There's the image of Melody. Um, it says in the article and the press release that they believe that she might be wearing a wig because her hair is not consistent with her natural hair. Now, I get in some, uh, some people in our world, wearing wigs is like a really big part of their identity and their culture, and that's cool. I get it. But on a child, is that normal? I don't. I know older women sort of, some teenagers too, but more like older ladies and women do it. But I wouldn't expect it on a 9-year-old. A 9-year-old girl wearing a wig. I mean, if that's what she likes, I get it. But it almost seems like she might be trying to obscure her appearance, maybe. They're saying here, authorities say in the surveillance photos of Melody taken on October 7th, she appears to be wearing a wig that is darker and straighter than her normal hair, and that she's wearing colorful leggings and a gray hooded sweatshirt with the hood pulled up over her head. Doesn't seem non-suspicious at all. Does it? The fact that she's like trying to obscure her identity, she's trying to like hide her face a little bit. It's a little strange. So at least we know she was alive at one point. Is she alive today? I think that's the big question. Now the FBI and the local PD, I don't think they I don't think they're treating it like they think she's dead. I think they're treating it like she might be hiding somewhere, but it's just a guess from me. Because they just don't seem to be in much of a rush. They just don't. They seem to be just sort of, seeing how this goes, and it doesn't seem to have any real urgency about it. There's no urgency going on. Um, so we know when she was on this car trip with her mum that her mum left the state of California and that she went somewhere between California and Nebraska. Where Melody went before Ashley returned to California, that's the $1 million question. That's the $1,000,000 question. Where did Ashley put Melody? Where? Between California and Nebraska, where is the child? That is I think that's what the information that everyone wants to know. But they're saying here, detectives are focusing their investigation on a period between October 7 and October 10. That is October 10 is when Ashley returned to California. So they think somewhere in that 3-day time span, this little girl has disappeared off the face of the earth. So I'm surprised if people saw this young girl in a place like Nebraska, where unless you're in the city, it's sort of very vast. There's a lot of open plains and rural type areas in Nebraska. I would be surprised that someone didn't see this young girl, especially if she's just wandering around with someone else. I would be surprised if someone didn't pick up that she was there. But that's not what they're saying. Uh, yeah. So I think it looks like she's trying to hide her identity. Like it's very strange. Say this young girl is wearing a nice new wig and she's like, "Oh, I'm very proud of my look and I really like what my wig makes me look like." Wouldn't you think a girl of 9, she would want to show that off and be like, "Look how good it looks and look how great I look," not cover it up with a sweatshirt hoodie. So, I think she's trying to hide who she is. I wouldn't be surprised if we're going down a very Lori Vallow route of thinking here. That maybe her mum's some sort of prepper and thinks that her daughter's in danger and has taken her somewhere. I would not be surprised if that's what they end up coming out and saying. It sort of fits the theme here. The daughter didn't go to school. She was allegedly homeschooled. No one had seen her for about a year. I wonder if her mum is sort of like us against the world, prepper mentality. It sort of fits into some of the details that we know. Let me see. There was another bit here about Melody. I think there was another view, if I can get it. Yeah, here. There we go. Here's the other view from that camera, and you can kind of see the hair like they're talking about. It's very long. It's got a slight wave to it, like a slight bend to it, but it doesn't look like her natural hair. Her natural hair is really curly. She's got really, really curly hair as a natural, like brunette. She's got super curly hair, which looks amazing. Girls with curly hair shouldn't straighten it. Keep your natural curls. It looks always really good. I think it does. It's there's girls with straight hair that wish they had curly hair, and there's girls with curly hair that wish they had straight hair. It seems to be the way the world works. I want to go here. Yeah, there's this photo here. There's another photo of Melody, the one we've all seen before. Yeah, this is when she's a little younger. Apparently, reportedly, this photo is at least a few years old, at least. You can see that photo we just looked at in the surveillance photo doesn't look anything like this hair. It not even close to the same. This hair is very curly, very thick. Um, if she's lost her beautiful hair, I hope not. I hope not, because she's got beautiful hair. I mean, that's look how thick her hair is. It's very, very pretty. I hope her hair has not been shaved off, although it will grow back. But yeah, as you can see in that other photo I showed you, it's not even close to looking the same. Here you go. Look, there's that black, sort of straight, just got a bit of a wave to it. It does not look like her curly brown hair. And the question, I think we have another question of why. Why does she have a wig? And why is the hair color so far away from her natural hair color? Like, it doesn't even look natural on her. It's black almost jet black. They're saying they believe it's a wig. They're saying they believe it is not a hairstyle or something has been done at a hairdresser. They're saying they believe it is a wig. And they're saying they think this because her mother, Ashley, also is known to wear wigs, apparently. So, Khalees said hair is easy to change. Face looks way older, but maybe a bad photo. She looks. I think you think that because the other photo that we've seen, the one I put up, it is from years ago, and she would have grown and somewhat matured since the other photo. The other photo looks like it was taken when she was 5. Looks like 5 or 6 years old. She's now 9. That's 3 years. That's a lifetime in a child's life, and they grow up and they sort of look different, and so that's why you may think she looks older, and it's because there's a gap between those 2 photos. Let me go back. Yeah, this photo, like, you can tell this child is young, very, very young. I reckon um, 5 or 6 in this photo. That's Ping's opinion. And in the photo you just saw from the CCTV, she's 9. So almost into that preteen sort of area of her life. And yeah, of course she's going to look very, very different. She also looks like she's probably taller than this photo. This photo she looks quite short. In the other photo she's gained a little bit of height as well. So at least we have something to go off, because if you were looking for this young girl, I don't think you'd find her because she doesn't look like this anymore. But the new photos give us something to go on. Yeah, I want to see if we can get a better update. Did they give us a video of it? I'm just checking my notes here from earlier. I don't think they did. I don't think they did. I was hoping they might have given us a video of the CCTV, but I don't think they did. All right. Uh, let me check one of our other. Apparently, there's a live chase on right now. LA never boring. Apparently, there is a live chase on right now. Here we go. It's not a very big update from our friends at ABC7 in LA, but I will play it for you. Let's see if we get audio tonight. I don't know what was going on last night. I have never had the audio not work when we do this, but let's try again. Let's try again.
Major development. Detectives say they have new photos of missing Southern California girl Melody Buzzard. She was caught on camera wearing a wig at a car rental business earlier this month. And these are the first new images of Buzzard in about 2 years. According to Santa Barbara County detectives, she was homeschooled and has not checked in with her independent studies program since October of last year. Detectives say she could be with her mom, but her mom is not cooperating.
There you go. I hope you heard it this time. I don't know why we were having those audio issues yesterday, but yeah. There you go. So we don't get an actual video. We got just the still images that I showed you. I don't know. You guys have to tell me. You guys have to tell me what you think and tell me. I think the big question here is, and I hate to say it like this, do you think this young girl is alive today? Do you think Ashley could have done something to her on the trip? That's, I think, the big question. If the girl's alive, we're halfway there to a great ending, because we can bring her back and get her some care and put her in some custody of people who give a crap about her. But we can't do that if she's not alive. If she's not alive, we got problems. And then we got to find a child who's no longer with us. So I want to know what you guys think after I've shown you all this evidence over the last couple of weeks. Do you think this child is alive? Or do you think this trip was sort of like a way of disposing of her body outside of California? Because it's very strange for a woman who's never been to Nebraska before, has no connection to the area, has basically grown up in California for many decades. Why would you go to Nebraska? It seems a bit odd. Last seen October 7th in this image. Texas. Betsy said, sadly not alive. Chipmunk said it's not good that it's not good that much we know. Yeah, definitely not good. Kaliza said, I'm worried you're right. Who's messaging me? There we go. Kaliza said, I'm worried you're right, and it's a Lori Vallow situation. It has some hallmarks of Lori Vallow. It really does. Just some of the it's not exactly the same, but the sort of the child disappearing, not being seen at school, trying to keep the child out of school by doing independent learning, and then going on a road trip and then returning without the child. It's very Lori Vallow. And it's unfortunate that for now and into the future, we're probably going to be calling a lot of things, oh, this is very Lori Vallow. But it's stuck in our minds because of how big that particular case was. Yeah. So Ping personally doesn't know. I've checked into this a bunch. I've read a lot of things that people have said about Ashley. I contacted someone from the family and I spoke to them, but they didn't want to speak on the record. And my sort of take from speaking to the family members today is I don't want to quote them for verbatim because I don't have permission to do that from them. They're worried, and that's the way severely worried. That's the way I would put it. They're severely worried, and because they've had no contact with Melody for so long, and they know about the mother's mental instability, is the way I'm going to put it. They are worried that something has happened to that kid. Or, of course, they hope not. They would like for her to come home and then for them to have better a relationship with the child and be able to have Melody in their lives. But yeah, they are severely worried, and I get why they would be. Unfortunately, I can't tell you too much more about what we spoke about. Joe, hey Joe, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Kim says, I feel so bad for the father's family. They have been locked out of that little girl's life ever since the father died. So when the dad died, he died in a motorcycle crash when Melody was only a little baby. Only a little baby, I think 6 months old, 5 months old, something like that. She was very, very young. And as soon as the father died, Ashley cut off contact with his side of the family instantly. As soon as the guy died, she was like, nope, and then cut off all contact with his family members. So most of them have not seen Melody in many, many years. Although a couple of them had seen Melody a few years ago, but it was a brief rendezvous. Let's see. Oh. Ooh. Mrs. Ping is picking up some things for the American taste test, and she just told me that they had something in stock that we had been looking for. It is not Butterfingers, but it's something else. But you guys will be very excited. By the way, while we're talking about it, Mrs. Ping said if we get to 2,000 subscribers, she will let us film in our lounge room and she will be on camera doing the taste test with me in the lounge room, But she's like, I want to see the main channel get to 2,000 subscribers first. So help me get to that, and we can have a really fun time tasting American food in the lounge room. And you guys can see me and her sitting on the couch, taste testing these things from America. So I might as well talk about it since she just messaged me from the place that she's picking up some of our items from. Miss Woozy said the missing child case is so worrisome. I think any time a child goes missing, doesn't matter what the circumstances are, it's a worry because there's so many kids who fall through the system. The fact that we're even talking about Melody right now is actually a good thing. There are so many kids that go missing every year, and they don't get reported on because they just don't get the media coverage because no one fully knows they're missing. Melody's lucky that someone picked up on it, but this could have very easily gone the other way, where the school, maybe a bit lax, believed what Ashley was saying, didn't chase up on it, and we're 4 or 5 years later, and everyone goes, wait, what happened to that girl? And then we got a bigger problem because we're backtracking 5 years ago trying to find out what happened to Melody. We're very lucky it's only a couple of months since she was seen at the school, but we're very, very lucky. Some children, they're not really reported on until half a decade later, 10 years later. It happens so frequently, and especially kids who a little bit different from this. Maybe sometimes they're part of the government system for children who are in foster care or group homes and things like that. They often go unreported. They'll get reported initially. It'll die down. They go missing. No one looks for them again. So we're in some ways it's good that we're talking about Melody right now, and it's such a quick turnaround. So we're only lost about. We only lost about a week. When this was originally reported, it was only about a week difference from the last time anyone saw Melody. So we're lucky that that's the only time frame that we have to deal with. The, uh-huh. All right. Let's see. Let the kitties do the show. The cats will probably be sleeping on our laps if we do the taste test in the lounge room. The cats will probably sleep on our laps while we do it. So you guys will see both of the fluffy cats. So sure. You have an extra pee. Let's see Muffin and Rory. They'll be there, I promise. So that's the big update. So if you're in Nebraska or you're anywhere in between California, let me look it up. California to Nebraska. Let's see if we can look up like how many states would you go through? Let me see because I've never done it. I've never gone from California to Nebraska. Let's have a look. All right. So it's a hell of a drive. I don't know which path you would take, but there's Callie. Let's just assume she took this path, okay? Let's just assume. Like we don't know for sure, but let's just assume this is the path. So she'd head up through. Do they make it to Arizona? I don't know if they do, but they head up through LV, Las Vegas, or you can head through Arizona too. It looks like you might, if you take the other path, after you get out of LV, you cut through the corner of AZ and you head up through here, through Utah. Of course, it's bloody Utah. Utah seems to be the epitome of missing children cases. And we head up through here and you cross the border and you're into Colorado, travel through Colorado, and then you're in North Plate, and you're in Nebraska. It's a big drive, 24-hour drive. So if they're saying they're focusing on a 3-day window of time, Ashley basically drove out there and turned around and came back. It's almost a 24-hour drive on the way out there without stopping. It sounds like Ashley drove out there and came basically straight home. That's a strange trip to take. You're going to drive for over 20, like almost a full day of driving, and then just come straight back to California without the kid. It makes it seem more and more sinister. It really does. It's just odd. If you're going, see, I'll give you an example. When I first heard about this, I was like, okay, she's doing independent schooling, right? And maybe some parents are like, I want my kids to get their education in the wilderness and the outside and outdoors and things like that, right? You've heard that before. And I was like, maybe she was going to take her on a road trip and show her the USA and show her different, national parks and outdoors places. But you can't do that if you're driving straight out there and coming straight home. It's odd. If that really is the timeline, that I mean, it's a bit odd. Where is the hoodie photo at? It is at the car rental place in California, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, let me double check my notes here. Yeah, it's at the car rental business on October 7. So October 7 is when they left. It's when they left California. So it would be when she picked up the rental vehicle. What's strange is she was able to get a rental vehicle for this trip, right? But we heard just yesterday that she tried 2 separate places near her home to get a rental vehicle in the last 48 hours, and both of them turned her down. Both of them would not give her a vehicle. So how did she get a vehicle this time? How did she get a vehicle for this trip if she's not able to get a vehicle 2 weeks later? Did she use someone else's identity? Did she use someone else's money card? That's interesting, right? I would want to know more about that. Danny says, has Joe been here? I haven't seen Joe in like a month. I think he's upset at us for joking around. I haven't seen Jonna either. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why everyone just disappeared last month, but I know one of the ladies got upset because she thought we were making fun of her spelling, but we're never making fun of people's spelling. We're just joking around. Like we're just sort of, I know what they're saying. Bit of levity to some very sad topics that we talk about. But I haven't seen Jonna in ages. I haven't seen Joe in a while. I don't know where everyone went. I have no idea. Joe Schmo's here. He was here before. He was where is he? He was up here. Here he is. There he is. The other Joe I haven't seen. The other Joe, the other Joe I haven't seen. Haven't seen Jonna either. Haven't seen a couple of other regulars that were normally here every night. Kaliza said, it's hard to get a rental sometimes. You've got to get someone else to rent it, then add you as a second driver to get around it. But then who would that be? Well, she had a friend who was taking her to the rental companies in I think it was a black Escalade. Yeah. Maybe that's the person who helped her get it the other time. Did he? Oh, okay. I don't know when that happened. Maybe she maxed her card out. It could be. Maybe she has no more money left. Oh, did he? I don't remember that happening, but okay. All right. Sorry, Joe. Hope he's doing all right. Yeah, it could be this black Escalade person that we talked about last night. So I find it interesting that she could get a car one week and couldn't the next week. If a rental company will give you one like a week ago, as long as you returned it in good condition and filled up, you get a good review from the car company. So they most likely will rent you a car again, a car again. So the fact that 2 weeks later she can't get a car, very odd. Yeah, she has a large amount of debt. She has court cases happening for bankruptcy in the courts in California. Yeah, he's not blocked. Khalid said that's probably what happened. Could be. Could be. YouTube has been being funky lately. I agree. I agree. Her name's been in the news. Maybe police put a tag on her name, possibly so she can't leave town. Maybe. Danny said, "I think Joe was a troll." Yeah, it's definitely Muffin. Definitely, that's how he gets his kicks in the afternoon. He trolls his cat dad. That's what it is. All right. That's what it is. That's all the news I have on Melody. But at least we have sort of a better idea of the timeline we're sort of dealing with now. Now, there was the vigil held for Melody. I'm just trying to bring that up. Hold on. No, that's not how you spell that. There was a vigil held. If I can get in here. Trying to see if we get a video of it for you. I don't think we did. I don't think I have one for you, but I do know that there was one held, and I got some photos for you instead. You can see some of the family and friends and neighbors and people from the local community saying here, "Bring Melody back." And they got candles and trying to show their support for Melody. And I like that. I like anytime the community comes together, anytime family show they give a crap about a child like this. I think it's a good thing. All right. So there you go. Bring Melody back. I think the message is very clear. They want Melody to be brought home. Oh, that's cute. They had a photo thing here. There you go. Some photos of her. What's sad to me is the lack of photos of her. There's so few photos of Melody. And I think most families, when there's a young child in it, they get so photo happy that they literally have thousands of photos, from 0 to 9. They would have an entire encyclopedia of their life in photo format because we've all got cameras in our phones, right? And the fact that the newest photo we have is 2 to 3 years old, that is troubling to ping, and it makes me wonder what is going on in Melody's life where the mum's not taking photos of her, not proud of her little kid, and it's very strange. Muffin does crave power. He does. He's power hungry. What? You heard Desi was in Melbourne last night. The latest information about Desi Freeman is that the cops believe that he's in a different state. They believe he's crossed the border into New South Wales and is long gone. So I don't think he's in Melbourne. They reckon he's long, long gone. Kaliza said, but we all notice that families with abused children often don't have photos of them to avoid having a documentation of their abuse. You are right. Kim said, I wish I had that capability when my kids were babies. Digital photos had just become a thing. yeah, kids these days definitely are more documented compared to maybe like when I was a kid. When I was a kid, if your family had a video camera, they were doing really well in life. Like my family didn't have a video camera. I never saw a video camera until I was older. I'd never seen one before because my family didn't have a ton of money growing up, and I just never seen one, never used one, uh, never had a chance to try one, nothing like that. I mean, we had cameras, like a film camera, but not a video camera. Your family had to be pretty wealthy to have a video camera. Fitzroy, I don't think so. Yes. All right. So I don't have anything more to add except for they did do the vigil. They said 25 people gathered and it was in Mars Avenue, so the street where Melody lives. And they're saying the vigil drew relatives from the child's late father's side of the family, the paternal side, nearby residents, friends, and television crews who lined the otherwise still Vandenberg Village street. And they're saying here, so this is interesting here. Marvin Mazer, who said during the vigil, admitted he felt bitter about how the courts handled Melody's case years earlier. He said, had the court left Melody with us, she wouldn't be missing. Our kids are doing good. As parents, we can say they are doing well. And they're saying here, the court failed Melody and us. We have 5 kids between us, and everyone is doing great. And they're saying here, she and others noted that Ashley legally changed Melody's surname from Mazer in 2021 after the court placed the child back in her mother's custody. So it sounds like the brother of Melody's father adopted for a period of time Melody, and there was a court battle over it, and it seems like the court sided with Ashley to give the child back, and so the child moved from the father's family to Ashley, and Ashley assumed parental rights for Melody. So that's very interesting, and yes, I can imagine how they could feel very bitter at being sidelined, and then this happened years later where they have to go, well, if you just left her with us, she'd be fine. It's very sad. They said here the family had once planned to adopt Melody and that they had already begun the paperwork when Ashley withdrew the girl from her Santa Maria school and reportedly left the state. And they're saying, um, apparently they went to Ashley's mother's house seeking answers to where Melody was, and they were told, don't come here again. And they said Ashley filed a restraining order preventing any further contact from the father side of the family to Melody and Ashley. So they filed a restraining order, and now look what happened. Melody is missing, and no one knows where the child is. So we've got a court battle and restraining orders and some sort of alienation going on here. Hmm. Isn't that horrific? So it sounds like here investigators said that they believe that Ashley went through Kansas to get to Nebraska. So she took that northern route by the looks of it. If she went, wait, she went through Kansas? Wait, what? How does that work? No, she must have drove back through Kansas. You can't go from California to Nebraska through Kansas, not really anyway. But if you came back, you could go south from Nebraska into Kansas and then go west. and make it back, I guess. But they're saying they're also checking into Kansas as a location for Melody. Um, But it sounds like this poor girl had a pretty disrupted life. Who knows if she would have had a better life had she had been adopted by the father's family. You know, you never know. But the court sided with Ashley, who was the biological mother, and they gave the child to her. And then apparently there was restraining orders taken out. It's never good when restraining orders are taken out, is it? It tells you that there's a lot of uh, fighting and problems within the two sides of the family. I'm just trying to look here. Yeah. Yeah, how's this? They said that Ashley and Melody briefly lived with Denise after Ronaldo's death. She recalled her mother often giving Ashley money for essentials, and they say the family said they continue to buy birthday, Christmas, and back to school gifts that now fill a spare room for Melody. So the family, even after being alienated by Ashley, still continued to buy things for the little girl in the hope of one day being able to have a relationship with her. Very, very sad. I would suggest, I don't know, but we've not heard of the mum having a job, have we? And the fact that the child does not go to school, so she's home all day, meaning she's not in school for 7 hours every day. There's not a lot of time for the mum to have a job. So maybe some sort of survivor's benefit from Melody's father dying, possibly. And then maybe some sort of, you know, mother's allowance or something. So I would suggest that is probably what is happening. The fact that she was borrowing money from family members for essentials tells me that she didn't have a lot of money and didn't have a job. Because you got a job, you can afford things. So sounds like that's probably what was going on. But yeah, that is your latest information. I don't have too much more. But the court details are interesting. Unfortunately, we probably will not be able to get the documents for it, being that it is about a child. They will not give them to us because the child deserves privacy. So, Kim says it's only over $1,000 a month. I don't know how the welfare works in America. I only know how it works in Australia. So I don't know if you can get parenting allowance and a survivor's type benefit at the same time. I don't know if you can do that or not in America. Social Security, Disability, EBT, and Medicaid could be. Miss Woozy said, wait, so she doesn't work and the daughter's Social Security or survivor's benefit is what she's living off. Is this Lori 2.0? It does mimic Lori a lot, doesn't it? I know there's a lot of generalization there, and it's very easy to make a lot of things seem like Lori Vallow, but it just it's playing a similar tune. It's playing a very similar tune to some of the things that happen with Lori Vallow. So I hope not. I hope we're not going to find a child buried in a backyard. Let's hope not. I I hope that Ashley is just a paranoid individual and squirreled Melody away out of state because she thinks the father's family is going to take the child or something because she was going to be bankrupt. You heard about Melody's mom, Ashley, being in court recently because she's got a bunch of debt owing to various companies and they are taking out bankruptcy proceedings against her. Maybe she thought if child services became aware of the debt and the bankruptcy filing, that they would take Melody off her. And then the father's family would get Melody again because she wouldn't be able to take care of her being a bankrupt individual. Maybe she thought that was going to happen pretty quickly. And then she took Melody somewhere else and put her somewhere to hide her from authorities. That's a possibility. It's a possibility that that's what she's done. I hate morning said she's probably getting SSI because of mental health issues. Possibly. Possibly. Khaliza said it really depends on how long mum worked and her income. I don't think she's worked at all. She could get her own check plus dependent benefits plus benefits from the dad. So that's a good amount of money. It's not a small amount of cash. It's a decent amount of money. All right. It's a decent amount of money. Let's see. Miss Woozy said, I hope she's hiding her and not the other way around. Me too. I'd rather have a child who is alive than not alive. So if that is what has happened, great. At least we can get her back, right? We can get her to come home. That would be great. Let's see. I think that's all I have though, guys. I don't have anything else. By the way, there's nothing new about David either, really, except for that thing from Steve. There's really not anything to talk about, really. Steve shared a couple of new things, but he reckons he has footage of the last person to drive the Tesla, and he's given it to the LAPD. So we'll have to wait and see what that happens. I Hate Morning says her income really depends on what the dad was doing for a living and how much he was earning. Well, we don't know. We got no idea what Ronaldo was doing before he died. Yeah. So that is your big update on Melody. I hope we get some better updates soon about her being found alive. Seems like we're slowly, tracking down the movements of Ashley. We just got to get to the point where we find out where is the kid. That's the big one. So we'll see. Let's see. That's not what we want. The Sun had something here. The half sister of missing 9-year-old girl has laid bare the family's pain and claims they fought for custody as her mum allegedly struggled with mental health problems. And they're saying here, if we scroll down, I'm just trying to see if it has anything we don't know. They said it is being said that Melody could be anywhere from here to Nebraska. And they say Nebraska is not close by. It's like, where do we look? Where do we go try and find her? And they say there are allegations or assumptions that could possibly have been sold to a man. Sold to a man. Where is that? I hope that's not real. They say, I do fear that she could possibly be with a stranger. It worries me because who is that person? Does Melody know this person? Is she scared? All these things run through my mind. And they saying here, she says, our whole family did try and get custody of Melody. Corinna claims her uncle Marvin became Melody's legal guardian for a short period back in 2020, but she was then placed with a friend of Ashley's before being returned to her mother. And they're saying here, my family was never told why she was taken from Ashley's care. So the child was already taken once from Ashley, already removed once from her care. I reckon that's what's going on here. I reckon Ashley thought that CPS was going to remove Melody from her care again, possibly because of the bankruptcy things, possibly because of not putting her in school, possibly for not taking care of her properly, a bunch of different things. And I reckon she's tried to get ahead of it and she's run. But whether the child is alive or not, I don't know. Um, and the mum's first child was taken as well. Yes, I heard that. Yeah, you would think it would have that star tracking or whatever they call it. I can't remember what it's called. It's basically GPS satellite tracking of the cars, but I can't remember what the name of it is. Something Star Track or Star something. They say the US Sun has reached out to Marvin and local authorities for comment. Corinna says, I do hope that they arrest her soon because she has not opened up to anybody about the whereabouts of Melody or if she is okay. So I do hope that they bring her in for questioning, and I do hope, due to her mental health, that they do have a professional who can help her and get us the answers that we need. I agree. Wow, is this old photos? So these are old photos. Let me put them up. This is Corinna. And there's Melody as a baby, I think. Yep, that is Melody as a little baby. Wow, they got these old family photos. Here you go. Here's another one. Here's the family with Melody as a little baby. There you go. How cute. So it looks like the family really did care about Melody. They're saying, I'm not exactly sure what happened with their relationship. They did have an on and off relationship. She was very devastated when my dad passed. My grandma was the one who would keep in contact with her, and she would allow my grandma to see the baby sometimes. So then I would go to my grandma's house and see Melody. She did attend the funeral. She was very to herself. I'm sure she was hurt. Ashley is someone who kind of keeps to herself. She doesn't talk much or anything. There you go. She says, I've been to Six Flags, the theme park in California, with her and my dad one time and would hang out with them. She says, I did go see Melody and Ashley when Melody was born in the hospital, but she was very quiet. My dad did state that she was always to herself, and from what my dad has told me, she did struggle from some mental health problems when they first met. She says, I believe she was on medication, but she seemed normal to me. She seemed fine to me. I'm not sure what her upbringing was. She claims that the last time she saw Melody was in 2020 at her grandmother Lily's home when Melody was around 4 or 5. So there you go. Um, They're saying here that Ashley wouldn't provide contact information or an address for any of that family to contact or have a relationship with Melody. So crazy. Let me see here. So apparently Corinna went to the home recently and asked about Melody, asked if she was okay, and apparently Ashley just closed the door on her and didn't reply about anything about Melody at all. So I don't know what's going on, but it seems like there is at least some of disagreements within the family, some relationship breakdowns. It doesn't sound great. Rachel said, I really hope they find her. It's dragging on, though. It's dragging on. That child has been missing for 18 days, 17, 18 days now. And we still aren't any closer to knowing where that kid is. So, uh, who knows? All right. Yeah, you're getting crazy wind. We had a crazy 120-kilometer an hour winds here the other day, and it felt like there was a tornado outside. I think I was doing a live show at the time. Miss Woozy said probably much longer. The police might not know where to look beyond that drive. Possibly. All right. Let me close down some of this. And then I want to talk about what happened. Wait, are we doing this one? By the way, it looks like there's a tropical storm, Melissa, coming to Florida in the next week or so. Looks like there is a possible new hurricane that is coming. But I want to talk to you about this story if I can get to it. Okay, that's not it. All right, here we go. All right, give me a second. I need a drink. Entertain yourselves for 1 second. All right. I don't know if any of you saw this story, but check out the headline. Bronx man brutally attacks 12-year-old stepdaughter, stabs her, and hammers a screw into her head. And they say cops have arrested a 28-year-old Bronx man following a brutal explosion of violence, accusing him of attacking his wife and then viciously stabbing his 12-year-old stepdaughter before hammering a screw through her skull. He put a screw into her head. What the hell? They're saying his name is Joshua Burnside. He's also accused of stabbing his 31-year-old wife during the violent clash inside their sixth-floor apartment on East 173rd Street near West Farms Road in Crotona Park East, just across the street from Starlight Park. They say two other children, a 5-year-old boy and a 2-year-old girl, were also inside the home but not harmed. They're saying the bloodshed began around 11:15 p.m. Wednesday when Burnside got into a heated argument with his wife. They say during the argument, the wife picked up a knife to defend herself, but Burnside grabbed it out of her hands and stabbed her in the stomach and slashed her face with it. When the woman ran out of the apartment screaming for help, Burnside turned to his horrified stepdaughter, who witnessed the attack on her mom, and began to repeatedly stab her about the body, face, and head. A neighbor who lives on the fifth floor of the building attempted to give aid to the woman, calling 911 in the process. Jeez. They're saying here the wife, when she was outside the apartment, heard her daughter scream for help. And they said after stabbing the girl repeatedly, Burnside grabbed a long screw and hammered it into the side of the preteen's head. Police responded to the incident, took him into custody, and they're saying his wife and the two young children were taken to Jacoby Hospital where they were treated for minor injuries. The stepdaughter, though, was taken to Cohen Children's Medical Center where she had to undergo surgery, probably to fix her head. I mean, uh, here. Doctors initially found deep bruising to the child's head. They then found the screw puncturing the child's brain. In her brain. They're saying the girl remained in critical condition as of Friday. Cops have charged Burnside with assault, criminal possession of a weapon, and endangering the welfare of a child. He was also sent to a local hospital for a psychiatric exam. He's apparently waiting for an arraignment on Friday, so today. I don't have an arraignment for him, but I will check. Let me see if I have an arraignment for him. Yes, I do. I don't have an arraignment as such. Don't have an arraignment, but I do have a video we can watch about it.
Domestic stabbing in the Bronx. I'm Nadia Galindo. Tonight, police say a 12-year-old girl is fighting to stay alive after neighbors say her stepfather stabbed her multiple times. News 12's Mike Lamort is live in Crotona Park East. Mike, a horrific story. What are you learning?
Nadia, it was a scene straight out of a horror movie. 28-year-old Joshua Burnside now facing multiple charges after police say he turned a knife on his 12-year-old stepdaughter, unfortunately caught up in the middle of a domestic violence situation Wednesday evening.
Can you get my daughter?
A mother's frantic cry for help while her ex-husband lies face down in handcuffs.
He stabbed me multiple times.
Just moments earlier, the 31-year-old mother of three can be seen stumbling down a hallway, banging on doors, desperate for neighbors to call police.
She was like, I need a knife, I need a knife.
We're told that mother is recovering from stab wounds to her face and body, but her cries for help were for her kids. Burnside turned the knife on who neighbors say is his 12-year-old stepdaughter. The video, taken by a neighbor, too graphic to fully show. It captures the girl as she fights for her life, hooked up to an oxygen tank with multiple stab wounds to her head and face.
She was screaming, my babies. I seen the little girl's face. That's when I really knew it was really a big deal.
Neighbors say the domestic dispute started with shouting coming from the 6th floor of the East 173rd Street apartment, and the preteen got caught in the middle of it all.
When I heard it, I thought it was the kids playing again. So I was in my mind like, Jesus, when do they go to bed, you know? Until
That girl is so lucky to be alive. The fact that she had a screw puncture her skull and go into her brain, the fact she's alive, conscious, and talking is amazing. Brutal. Yeah, I believe it should be attempted murder too, but unfortunately it's not. Let me double check. What was he arraigned on? He was only charged with assault, criminal possession of a weapon, and endangering the welfare of a child, but no attempted murder charge at all. Yeah, nothing like that. So I reckon he should have. When you put a screw through a child's head, I think you deserve more than, yeah, you deserve more than that. Is this the, yeah, they're saying here, let me take you to the article with News 12. We'll look at this one in a minute. Apparently there was a body of a Norwood woman found after neighbors report something, but we'll have a look in a minute. They're saying the 12-year-old girl is still fighting for her life after police say she and her mother were stabbed in a DV attack inside their Crotona Park East apartment late on Wednesday night. Let's see here. I want to see if he actually made it to... Yeah, let's watch this one. I don't see anything whether he actually made it to court today. He was supposed to be in court today. It doesn't say. Let's see what it says here.
We begin with breaking news. A horrific domestic stabbing in the Bronx. Police say a 12-year-old little girl is now fighting for her life after a man attacked his family. News 12's Mike Lamort is live in Crotona Park East, where neighbors helped to rush to the victim's aid in a scene like out of a horror movie. Mike, what can you tell us?
Marcy, it's like the story of the Good Samaritan. Multiple neighbors rushing to help this mother and her children before what police say is a domestic violence situation nearly turned deadly. 28-year-old Joshua Burnside is now facing multiple charges after police sources say he stabbed two family members Wednesday night. Neighbors tell us his 31-year-old ex-wife was running and screaming for help in the apartment complex just before midnight, sending officers rushing rushing to the 1000 block of East 173rd Street. We're told the mother was stabbed in the chest and slashed in the face. Her 12-year-old daughter also slashed in the face and stabbed multiple times in the head. Now, 2 other children, a 2-year-old girl and a 5-year-old boy, were also inside the apartment. They weren't injured. All of them taken to a nearby hospital where that 12-year-old girl is now clinging to life. Back here at the scene, tenants say it was.
I mean, I hope that girl makes it through. Sounds like she's in a pretty dangerous predicament in hospital. I don't know if she will make it or not, but I hope so. The fact that they originally thought it was just bruising to her head and then found a screw that punctured her brain, it's a pretty horrific case of DV. Horrible. But yeah, that's probably, well, they said it was a stepdaughter. So it's probably not his child. So yes, I believe you are right. It is not his kid. Yeah, it's brutal. Never seen anything, never heard of anything like that. What the hell? All right, I want to see. There was one up here that only got updated like 2 hours ago, and I just wanted to know what it was, and I hope you guys want to know what it is too. What is this? Yeah, let me
Found
pause this. They say body of a Norwood woman found after neighbors report foul odor. Oh, that's never good. They're saying a disturbing discovery in Norwood sparked a police investigation after a 53-year-old woman was found dead inside her apartment at 115 East Moshaloo Parkway North. Okay, let's try and have a look. Apparently, it was called in as a welfare check. And they're saying cause of death has yet to be determined. Let me see what I can find about this. I can't find much about this actually. They're saying NYPD officers responded to a 911 call for a wellness check on Thursday. When they arrived, they found a woman unconscious and unresponsive. EMS pronounced her dead at the scene. They say neighbors had reported smelling a foul odor in the hallway and grew concerned after not seeing the woman for several days. They say the woman had a live-in boyfriend who was aggressive and violent towards her. They say that he once hit the woman so hard she lost vision in one eye. And they're saying here, a neighbor said she didn't deserve what had happened to her. Police have not confirmed an arrest, and they say their investigation is ongoing. Oh, crazy. Let me see if I can. I want to see if I can find anything else about this poor woman. No. I can't find very much more about this woman, unfortunately. There is another article here. So these are the apartments right here in this photo. And they're saying it was officers from the 52nd precinct responded about 4:39 p.m. on Thursday. They're saying the woman appeared to have visible trauma to her body, though it remains unclear whether the injuries were the result of foul play. According to sources, a neighbor called police on Thursday after not seeing the woman for several days and noticing a strong odor emanating from the apartment. So they're still waiting on an autopsy, and there is no one under arrest right now. Ugh, brutal. Well, I think this article highlighted it saying they saw visible trauma to the body, and that would make it more likely a homicide than something else. But okay. All right. Hey, by the way, I want to thank Sean for the donation. I just want to say it concerns me when Sean is the only person that ever donates. But thank you, Sean. I appreciate it. Gail said, so much evil in the world, so sad. It is. Why is there so many stories? When I Googled this one just then to try and find more information, there was more of them. There was like another one that happened in New York like the same day. Let me show you. Let me show you. There was another one. Where is it? Yeah, let me go here. There was another story. Yeah, here in Queens in New York. If it'll load, come on. Here, Queens man arrested in killing of estranged wife inside Hendrick's home. So there was another one, and this only happened today. They're saying that the woman, her name is Asif, was suffocated by an unknown chemical substance and had burns on her face. And so here's the guy, he ended up being arrested. He's her ex-partner. But there was another one on the same day. It's crazy. Yes, you too. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it. Yes, you're welcome, Sean. No, you're welcome. Yes, thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it. You're both very kind. What is going on in New York? I mean, it is a city of millions of people, and their statistics per year probably means that there's at least a few of these per day, but still, you don't want a few of them per day. It's not like you're like, yeah, that's fine. That seems normal. We normally have 5 a day. Today we only had 2. That seems fine. We want none of them per day. If I get more on that one about them trying to arrest anyone for it, I'll let you know. But right now, they're not even looking for anyone. They don't give us a description. They're not telling us they're looking for anyone. Nothing. So I will let you know when I find something. All right, there's another story, and then we'll get to Jodi Husentruit in a minute. Yeah. University of Buffalo, we're still in New York, issues statement after employee arrested in connection with a homicide. So even universities are not safe anymore, apparently. Let me play the video. It's
we
very
have an
quick.
update tonight on the man charged with murder in that deadly fire on Norwood Avenue. The University at Buffalo has confirmed to 2 on Your Side that 30-year-old Kadani Hale worked there as a financial aid advisor. He's accused of strangling his 29-year-old girlfriend, Kathleen Craig, to death. Their 4-day-old son also died in the home. The school now says it will provide counseling and support to employees in the days ahead. In a statement, the university says, quote, although the university cannot comment on specific personnel matters, UB has a robust disciplinary process in place to address instances where an employee may have engaged in criminal activity.
Yeah, we can't comment when one of our staff members kills someone and they're charged with homicide. Don't worry, though. We have a robust disciplinary process, and we'll make sure that he is disciplined extensively the next time we see him when he's out of jail in 35 years. That's fine. Just trust us. We have the greatest processes ever. That is a very strange thing to say when your employee is arrested for homicide. That was very clinical and very no empathy at all for the victim, for no one. They're just like, yeah, our employees sometimes murder people. It happens, we'll make sure we discipline him fully in accordance with our procedures. I don't think you're going to do anything. You're just going to pretend and hope it goes away. Yeah, it was a weird statement to make, right? Yeah, let's see what else we can find about this man. So they're saying Kadani Hale, 30, was arraigned Thursday in Erie County on an indictment charging him with 1 count of murder in the second degree. Second degree. They're saying he is accused of killing Kathleen Katie Carrig and her newborn baby, who were pronounced dead at the scene. They're saying that he also suffered smoke inhalation from the fire in that property and was taken to ECMC for treatment. And they're saying the district DA said in a news conference Thursday afternoon that Hale allegedly caused the death of Carrick by strangulation, then caused the death of their infant son Noah, and that is still under investigation. Noah was only 4 days old. 4 days old. Whoa, poor little baby. 4 days on this earth. That's it. Horrific. Poor little baby. And the wife. I mean, she just postpartum, just had given birth 4 days ago, and he killed her. Insane. Insane. You talk about women who are susceptible to violence in a relationship, and this is like like the poster child for it. To hurt a woman after she just got out of hospital, after giving birth to your son, is one of the most awful things I think I've ever read on this channel. That is horrible. Let's look at this. Look at this absolute sorry excuse for a man. Here, let's look about this sub-man guy. Let's talk about him. I don't even want to call him a man because he's such the opposite of what it is to be a man. You know, hurting your wife like that. Girlfriend, sorry. Horrible.
Video you will only see on 7 News tonight. This is the man who police say intentionally killed his girlfriend, found dead after a weekend house fire in Buffalo's Elmwood Village. Kadani Hale appearing in court today, charged with her murder, but prosecutors say more charges could be coming very soon. Good evening once again. This investigation into Hale began after that early morning fire on Norwood Avenue Saturday, quickly deemed suspicious. He was one of 3 people removed from that home. A 29-year-old woman and her newborn were found dead. Today's indictment of Hale only includes the death of the adult victim, Kathleen Carrig. 7 News reporter Derek Hyde picking up the story with possible next steps from prosecutors.
That's right, Jeff. An arrest made on charges for murder, and more details into those terrible deaths of the mother and her 4-day-old child.
So for people asking why only one charge, it's because they're still investigating why the baby died. They will probably lay another charge when they know why the child died. But at this point, they don't know why the little baby passed away. I'm guessing it's because of him, but we'll find out.
Making a heartbreaking situation even more heartbreaking.
And if my personal experience with the Carrig family is any indication of the type of person that Katie Carrig is, I know that this community has lost one heck of a person.
Kadani Hale, the 30-year-old removed from the burning home in Buffalo's Elmwood Village, is now charged with second-degree murder.
If convicted of that offense, he faces a maximum possible sentence of life in jail.
Hale was arraigned in court Thursday, charged with strangling his 29-year-old girlfriend, Kathleen Carrig. Firefighters found Carrig and the couple's newborn baby, Noah, dead in the bedroom of an apartment in the 400 block of Norwood Avenue Saturday morning. Noah was just 4 days old.
The allegations are that Mr. Hale murdered Kathleen Carrig by strangulation, and that he had done so prior to intentionally starting the fire. We anticipate that the evidence is going to show that he intentionally started the fire with gasoline.
Hale was injured in the fire. He was released from ECMC Wednesday. Right now, he is only charged in the death of Carrig, not Noah. But in court, the district attorney's office suggested more charges could be on the way.
Yeah, I would suspect that they will upgrade at least one of them. Yeah, this guy, they should have just left him in the freaking house. They should have taken her body and the baby's body and just been like, oh, we ran out of water. there's no more water, and our fire truck just has no. We can't do anything. Oh, we just, we don't know what to do. Budget cuts and state funding has gone down. The shutdown to government workers. We can't fight the fire. It's just, oh my God, we're gonna have to watch it burn. You should have just should have left him in there. Would have saved the county money. Would have let this absolute pussy go to wherever he has to go, probably hell. It takes a very weak man to hurt a woman like that. A very weak man. And here's a great example for you on your screen. I would all like you to pay attention to the man you see on this screen. And this is the opposite of what we look for in good men around the world. Keep this in mind when you're out in public, because if you see an absolute scumbag like this, you might want to think twice about being in a relationship with such a person. So, yeah, he's an absolute scumbag. To hurt your partner after she would have, if she's only 4 days postpartum, she may have only been out of hospital for 2 or 3 days. He, you attacked that woman at her most vulnerable point. I can't imagine how exhausted that poor lady was after giving birth to that child. 4 days after being in hospital and giving birth to a child, she's probably absolutely, she would have been wrecked. And for him to attack her at the time shows, it just says so much about the type of person he is, and who he is as a person. To do that to a woman at that point in her life is just the lowest of the low. He'll care in prison when someone makes him his best buddy. He'll care. Hey, my friend, how are you? He didn't want to support the baby? I don't know. I'm not sure. Betsy said she was probably terrified for her baby. Probably. Miss Woozy said, and she probably needed support, and he did the opposite. I'll never understand how people can be like that. It's supposed to be the happiest time of your life when your partner gives birth to a child. And you know what he was probably mad at? He was probably mad that she wouldn't cook him dinner 4 days after giving birth to a child. He's probably like, that bitch wouldn't cook me my dinner. Help her. She's the one who pushed a watermelon out of vagina. How about you help her? What did you do? Your job ended 9 months ago in the production of that child. You haven't done any. You've had a 9-month holiday. It's time for you to help now, while she just got out of hospital. I mean, instead you killed the child and you killed your partner. You shouldn't even go to court. You should go straight to the firing squad. That's Ping's opinion. Get old Sparky fired up and let him test it, because it is ridiculous. It sounds like they were. Just ridiculous. Men who hurt women like that. Absolutely disgusting. Yeah. And let me find out what we can find out about Kidani. God, he's got a dumb name too. I blame his parents. Probably for naming him with a stupid name. Probably added to it. They gave him a future of being a murderer with a stupid name. All right, let's find out what else we can find about him. Yeah, where do we go? We go here. Kidani Hail. Sounds like a type of weather phenomenon. They're like, oh, we've got a really bad storm coming in today. Look for rain. We might have some Kidani hail happening this afternoon, around 1 inch of it, lasting about 20 minutes. That's what it sounds like. You might hear it on the Weather Channel, not the name of a human. All right, let's see. Let me I want to see what else we can find about him. That's not it. We have far too many links open, and it's not allowing me to get another thing open. All right. Trying to see if there's any other reporting that we can have a look at for him. Yep, we do. From WKBW, Buffalo, New
Said
York.
this is a horrible case. Involves the death of a very young woman, a 29-year-old woman who had just given birth to a baby boy only 4 days earlier. The baby boy is gone as well.
A heartbreaking case in the heart of Buffalo's Elmwood Village. Tonight, a Buffalo man is locked up, charged with killing his girlfriend and setting fire to their apartment with their newborn baby inside. Good evening. The suspect, Hidana Haile, appearing in court today. The investigation into Haile began after that early morning fire on Norwood Avenue Saturday was quickly deemed suspicious by authorities. He was one of 3 people removed from the house. Kathleen Carrig and her 4-day-old baby were found dead. Today's indictment of Haile only includes the death of Kathleen, but as prosecutors lay out next steps, we've learned more charges could be on the way.
Unspeakable, horrible tragedy.
2 lives cut short. 30-year-old Hidana Haile stands accused of killing his girlfriend Kathleen Carrig inside this home on Norwood Avenue in Buffalo last Saturday, then using gasoline to set the first-floor apartment on fire.
The allegations are that Mr. Hale murdered Kathleen Carrig by strangulation.
You know, it's such a personal way of killing too, strangulation. And you know, we're looking into why men do that. And I think he's a perfect case study. He really attacked her at her most vulnerable, but to strangle her, but also most likely kill the child too. Yeah, she was a very pretty girl. I think it needs more investigation into why he did that to her, to that woman. Why at that particular point in time? Well, if ever, but awful. So he was arraigned yesterday, Thursday, in Erie County. They're indicting him on only that 1 count of murder in the 2nd degree. It's ridiculous. Should be 1st degree murder. I don't understand how you only get him for 2nd degree. I mean, the fire itself shows some sort of planning, even if it was spur of the moment in the fire, but maybe they'll get him for 1st degree with the baby. Let me show you what the university put out. They put out this thing here. I'll show you. Where is it? They put out this thing on their website. I looked at it before. Yeah, here we go. UB statement on Buffalo police investigation. The university at Buffalo, not of Buffalo, at Buffalo. Okay. Extends its heartfelt condolences to those who are grieving the horrific loss of loved ones this past weekend. It's so generic. Could you not say her name? Could you not specify her gender at all? Could you not say a woman and her child? Is there more people? Is it a general statement? Are you saying for all the people who have been killed in America this weekend? Are you saying for all the people who were killed worldwide? You're like, yes, the University of Buffalo extends its heartfelt condolences to those who are grieving the horrific loss of loved ones worldwide this past weekend. We like to do this once a month as a bit of an outreach for the university. It's a strange way to word that. They say the university is aware of the serious charge against Kadani Hale. They say although the university cannot comment on specific personal matters, UB has a robust disciplinary process in place to address instances where an employee may have engaged in criminal activity. What exactly are you going to do? That guy's in jail in handcuffs. What are you going to do with your disciplinary process exactly? What are you going to do? Go to the jail and tell him that he's a naughty boy? Is that what you're going to do? You're going to go there and be like, we're going to terminate your employment. He ain't showing up to freaking work on Monday. He ain't going. He's freaking in jail. What do you think he's going to do? Rock up and start his shift at 9 a.m.? No. What are they talking about? Although the university cannot comment on specific personnel matters, yeah, they have a robust whatever. UB's employee assistance program will be providing counseling and other supportive services to affected employees in the coming days. In the coming days, but not today. All right, interesting. They're like, whoa, you can take care of yourselves for a little while. In a few days, in the coming days, we will provide some assistance for you. Any questions about the investigation should be directed to the City of Buffalo Police. All right. University at Buffalo. There you go. Good work. That's one of the worst statements I think I've ever read from anyone ever. It's terrible. Oh, that was awful. Let's look up the girl. I want to see Kathleen Carrig. I want to see more about Kathleen. People wanted to see a photo of her. Well, I have one for you. There's a photo of Kathleen on the left, and on the right is an example of a human being who has smoked too many joints because he looks like he's doped out of his head. Chipmunk says, all right, there you go. I'm glad I made you feel better. Why does he look like he has had too many edibles? Did he down his stash when he went into jail? He went into the prison and he's like, I better take these out of my ass, out of my jail pocket, and eat them all before the cops find them. And then they took a photo of him when he got really high. Is that what happened? Because that's sort of what looks like it happened. Gayla said, I bet there's not many, if any, pictures of Noah. Not being, or there might be a couple, but family probably have them. SPN said, I kind of say goodbye and good riddance for the riffraff who are caught up in the issues. Yeah. He looks like an oaf next to her. Yeah, she definitely looks like a nice young lady. SPN said, well, YouTube didn't even give me a ping is live email tonight. That's strange. Well, Trish ended early, so we had to start the show a lot earlier than we normally would. So that's part of the reason you may not have got a thing. Hold on, who's emailing me? Sorry, guys, let me check my emails. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I don't have too much more on Kadani Hale. And when I do, I will let you know. But I think that's all I have. Let me see if I want to see if we can find that whole press conference. Hold on. There was one here. Let's have a look.
.35 a.m. Saturday, October 18th, Buffalo Fire was dispatched to the 400 block of Norwood Avenue for a fire call. Upon further investigation, that fire investigation has developed into a homicide investigation. The victims have been identified as 29-year-old Kathleen Katie Carrig and her 4-day-old infant Noah Carrig. First and foremost, my heartfelt sympathies and most sincere condolences go out to Katie and Noah's family and friends. I do not know Katie or Noah, but I can tell you that mine and my family's connection to the Carrig family dates back prior to my birth. And if my personal experience with the Carrig family is any indication of the type of person that Katie Carrig is, I know that this community has lost one heck of a person. So again, my heartfelt condolences, sympathies, and love go out to the Carrig family and their family and friends. I do want to be clear that this investigation is very much ongoing and the legal process is very much ongoing. And so we are asking that the public please be patient with the process as it unfolds and please respect the privacy of the family during this horrific tragedy. What I can share with you at this time is that the Buffalo Fire Department has officially ruled the fire as incendiary in nature, meaning it was intentionally set. And to that end, earlier this afternoon, an indictment was handed down against a suspect in connection with this case, and the district attorney will get involved in that a little bit more. But before we do hear from the district attorney, I just want to thank the men and women of the Buffalo Fire Department for responding to the call in such a swift nature and the job that they did, the arson investigation, the men and women of the Buffalo Police Department for their efforts in the investigation over the course of the past few days, as well as the men and women of the Erie County District Attorney's Office for their close collaboration and partnership.
29-year-old Kathleen Carrig was days. Call came in reporting that a smoke alarm had gone off in the lower apartment of 428 Norwood Avenue. Buffalo police responded to the fire, and the victim, 29-year-old Kathleen Carrig, was found deceased in the lower apartment bedroom. Her 4-day-old baby boy Noah was found also in the bedroom. He was also deceased. And Kadani Hale was also found in the bedroom. He was apparently injured, and he was taken from that home to ECMC, where he has been since Saturday morning until late yesterday. Late yesterday, he was discharged. And as I indicated, we had obtained an indictment from an Erie County grand jury on one count of murder in the second degree for the murder of Kathleen Carrig. He was immediately taken into custody on that indictment warrant, and he was arraigned this afternoon. The allegations are that Mr. Hale murdered Kathleen Carrig by strangulation, and that he had done so prior to intentionally starting the fire. We anticipate that the evidence is going to show that he intentionally started the fire with gasoline. The cause of death for baby Noah remains under investigation, but we expect to be able to verify and report his cause of death in very short order. The defendant was, as I indicated, arraigned by Judge Maxwell Barnes this afternoon. He was remanded. The case will now proceed forward. Judge Maxwell Barnes was actually in what we call criminal special term. So
the fact that they saying that they can confirm the death of baby Noah soon tells me that I think they know how the baby died already, but they need a autopsy or pathologist to confirm the cause of death. I reckon because he strangled her, I reckon he did something physical to the child, smothered the child, shook the baby or something, or threw the baby, punched the baby, something like that. He seems like a violent individual. And then I reckon he did that to the child. And then, look, they sort of said, they haven't said much about the timeline, but I wonder if he hurt the child, then hurt her to cover up what he did to the child. That has happened several times in cases like this, where men have hurt the child and then had to kill the girl to cover up what they've done. So I would not be surprised. He is a very awful, evil individual. Yeah, it's very sad. 4 days old, little baby. Unfortunately, I don't have any photos of Noah to show you. I hope at some point the family might choose to release some to the public, and that would be nice to celebrate that baby's very short time on this earth. 4 days. It's longer. It's shorter than some of our like work weeks that we have. It's shorter than having the flu. So you guys have had the flu before, right? That baby was on this earth in a shorter amount of time than it takes to get over a case of the flu for most people. And that's very sad, you know, a fraction of a moment. Yeah, it's very, very awful. This guy deserves everything he's got coming to him. Everything. Not only did he hurt that little child, he also strangled his wife, or not wife, girlfriend, after she was just gave birth to a baby. How sick can you get? A poor woman. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty awful. All right. Let's get to the reason I put the thumbnail together, and I want to, if I can get to it, I will show it to you. All right. Where is it? All right. I'm going to take you to WSAW News, and I want to take you over there, and we're going to watch something together. All right.
Investigation into the disappearance and death of Deidre Harm is over. Officials are identifying Chris Revac as the man responsible. Tonight, News Channel 7's Sean Wise shares how this investigation involving multiple states over the past 19 years has finally brought closure to many involved.
June 10th, 2006. After hiring a babysitter, Deidre Harm went out in downtown Wisconsin Rapids to meet some friends. She was never seen again until that November, when hunters found her remains in the town of Seneca near Port Edwards.
You never forget it. And when you have a case like this where somebody lost their life at the hands of somebody else, you don't forget it. You want to see it through.
It wasn't until 2009, when investigators received a tip, that Chris Revac became a suspect. The tip said Revac was also in Wisconsin Rapids on June 10th for his half-sister's graduation.
He was during the day and had been drinking, and things weren't really anything out of the ordinary at that time until the evening hours came.
That same tip also came in after Revac killed himself in a Missouri jail after being arrested for the murder of Renee Williams. Following his death, Chris's brother Jason spoke with investigators. Through his interview, they matched the timeline of when Chris went downtown and when Deidre was last seen.
There's no doubt in our minds with what he's telling us and the information that we're starting to put together. This is pretty early on, once Chris Revac became a suspect.
For the next 16 years, Wood County investigators continued looking into Chris Revac. Through their efforts, investigators were piecing together that Revac was responsible.
Personally, it's a case that that I worked with many other awesome detectives and investigators.
Yeah, let me stop it there. So they did actually conclude that Chris Revac is responsible for Deidre Harm's death, and they now have closed that file. Very sad that there will never be anyone held responsible in a court of law, but at least they've been able to give this sort of small piece of closure to the community and to the family. It won't bring her back, and it doesn't put him on trial, but at least they have the answers to what sort of happened to their daughter, their aunt, their friend, their neighbor. It was a story that shocked that community. Now you ask, well, what does it have to do with Jodi Husentruit? Well, him being a serial killer killed quite a few women over the years, and is linked to a few others that I think he has never been proven to be a part of. One of them being Jodi. Now, I don't know if we'll ever get that confirmation, but he is suspected of maybe being the person behind Jodi Husentruit being missing and disappeared. And they're saying here, oh, wait, that's not it. Yeah, it just that they believe that he could be a suspect, being that he traveled to different counties, killed multiple women around the same time period, that it's possible that it could be him. SP1 says 16, what is he dead? Yeah, he died in prison. He voluntarily left this world while in prison. Now, I want to show you something from Chris, if I can get it going here. Yeah. So there's a photo of him. There's Deidre in the middle, and there's his mugshot from back in the day. There's Jodi at the end. Now, he was named as a person of interest in the 1995 disappearance of Jodi Husentruit. He died in 2009 in jail, and he's believed to, well, they've now basically confirmed that he is responsible for the 2006 death of Deidre Harm, 21, of Wisconsin. So it's all around sort of that area. And they're saying he died in a Missouri jail cell July 26, 2009, the day after he was charged with second-degree murder for the March 2007 murder of Renee Williams, a mother of 3 from Mansfield. And so he's not just a random murderer. He's a possible long-acting, long timeline serial killer. The fact that they have tied him now to 2 different murders and the possibility of at least one other being Jodi, he could be pretty prolific during that time period. Like, you're looking from, if it is 1995 for Jodi, you're looking at least an 11-year timeline. At least, what is it? 1, 2, 3. Yep, at least an 11-year timeline. 12 with Renee. So Jodi went missing 1995. The Wisconsin mother, 2006. And then Deidre Harm in 2007. And like I said, they also believe he's responsible for some other killings between 1995 and 2005, but they haven't linked him officially to those ones yet. So at least 2, maybe 3, and then more. Slowly but surely, they're starting to piece together this guy's timeline, but backwards. So he's been gone for a number of years, since 2009, and they're trying to work back with the information they have to try and see just how many women this guy may have killed in his life on Earth. Really nasty guy. Seemed to prey on women. He was a real, just nasty man. Yeah, I'm going to take you to a video out of KTTC back in last year.
Going to have a doozy of a time, let me tell you. Many of you might know the name Jodi Husentruit. Her case gained national attention when the morning anchor never showed up for her shift at KIMT in Mason City, Iowa. Her belongings, along with a bent car key, were found just feet from her apartment and next to her car. 29 years later, her body has never been found, and her killer has never been brought to justice.
And typically, you cover cases about missing and unsolved people here in the News Channel 7 viewing area. This is a big national story. How is Jodi's disappearance connected to our audience?
That's the key question. So all of it centers around Wisconsin Rapids native Christopher Revak. And as a part of my reporting last month, I learned the Wood County Sheriff's Office believes Revak is responsible for the 2006 death of Deidre Harm.
Wow.
Then in 2009, he took his own life while in jail, and he was facing homicide charges for Renee Williams in Missouri. As I dug in even deeper, it came to my attention that several other cases in the Midwest had a striking similarity to both Deidre and Renee. So I took what I learned to Wood County, and now for the first time, they are actively working with the Mason City Police Department to learn if Revak could be connected to both Deidre Harm and Jodi Husentruit. The lead investigator on Jodi's case says, yes, Revak is someone they are investigating for several reasons. One being in 1995, the year Jodi was abducted, Revak's wife, who he was separated from, was also living in Mason City, which could have given him the chance to either meet or see Jodi. The other being, he fits the profile.
I've read through, the case files of both Deidre Harm and Renee Williams down in Ava, Missouri, where she went missing. And later on learned that she was moved, her remains were moved and things like that. So, there's a possibility that could have happened here in Mason City. I mean, there's a reason why we haven't found her body.
Yeah, like he says, there's a reason they haven't found her body, and very possibly now with this information coming out about Deidre, is Jodi's one next that they're able to link back to him? There's quite a few others too, if that they are sort of can't confirm them, but they think the profiles match and the sort of MO is similar, and they've been unsolved. So there's a bunch throughout the Midwest that don't have a connection to any known killer or serial killer, but they do sort of match the operations of Revak. So now with Deidre Harm's one being closed and saying they fully believe it is him, maybe Jodi Husentrut's disappearance might be the next one on the list to try and it'd be nice if we could find her. Be nice if we could bring her home to her city and actually give her a proper burial. But yeah. She should have led with he fits the profile. He definitely fits the profile. They're thinking he could be a multi-state serial killer that didn't become uncovered until later on, which could be true. There's been a few of those that have been found over the years where it's not discovered until much later on, which it wouldn't surprise me. There's been so many that we've seen over the years that have been uncovered either after they die or when new technology becomes available, different types of investigative techniques, But yeah, he was in jail already at the time and decided that he was not man enough to be able to face the consequences of his actions. So he took the easy way out. Since he was in Missouri, are you talking about the Springfield 3? I don't know if that's one that he is connected to. It's possible. I'm not sure if that's one they're looking at for him. I don't know, but who knows? Here, let me see if I just type those words together. Well, he was a Springfield area man. So he was from Springfield. I don't know. Here, see. Deceased Springfield area man determined to be responsible for the 2006 death of Wisconsin woman. I mean, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, he was sort of from that area. Maybe there's a connection. Ava is close to the area. Okay. We'll have to wait and see. But at least Deidre's is now done. Yeah, let me look up a bit more about Deidre. Deidre Harm. Yeah, let's go down to this one.
And thank you so much for joining us. I'm Jeff Talon. The case has been weighing on the hearts of Wood County investigators for nearly 2 decades. Now that it's closed, they're feeling some accomplishment. News Channel 7's Madison Morandi explains why it will always stick with them.
Although the case is legally closed, Wood County Sheriff Sean Becker says it isn't closed for the family or for officers. For a long time, Sheriff Becker has had no doubt in his mind Christopher Revac was responsible for the death of Deidre Harm.
Sorry, guys. That one had very, very quiet audio. Even I caught it, and normally I don't. But that one had really, really super quiet audio. Give me a sec. I'll find a recopy of that. I will find a recopy of it. Yeah, I'm just thinking if this works or not. It sounds very quiet. I'll see.
New developments tonight in the murder of a Wisconsin Rapids woman. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Jeff Talon. The Wood County Sheriff's Department and Wisconsin Rapids Police Department have officially named the person responsible for the death of Deidre Harm. The Wood County District Attorney has concluded the investigation and says Christopher Revac is the person responsible. An anonymous tip pointed investigators to Revac, a Wisconsin Rapids native. In 2009, he was living in Missouri and was in jail while awaiting charges in the death of another woman, but had been in Wisconsin Rapids when Harm died, and his mugshot matched the sketch of the suspect in her case. He took his own life before Wood County investigators could speak with him about the Harm case. Harm was 21 years old with a new baby when she disappeared in June of 2006. Investigators say she hired a babysitter to watch her daughter while she went out for the night. It wasn't until 5 months later her skeletal remains were found by hunters in the town of Seneca, which is near Port Edwards. We'll have more on this story throughout the
There you go. Sorry, it was quiet. Yeah, you hear about these stories, and I hope they'll become less common as we get along these with the technology and surveillance and mobile phones and tracking, that we won't have these stories where it's like this woman went missing and we found her body in the bush like 5 months later. I'm hoping they will become less and less common as tracking and things like that become better. You're a test. All right, test. All right. That was it. We hit the 2-hour mark. I think we had a pretty good show tonight. It went really well. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. I think we're doing a USA food test on Monday for me, Sunday night for you guys. So I think we're gonna do it on that night on the other channel. So on the other channel, we're gonna do it then, and what are we gonna test? We're gonna test the strawberry and cream pie. Strawberry and cream pie. That'll be good. And we've got some toaster strudels too. And what else? I think we've got some Funyuns as well. So if you want to have fun with that, I will provide a link tomorrow night where you can come and hang out. and do that on the other channel on Sunday night. And then, yeah, we'll be back tomorrow night to do some more things. And I don't know, hopefully we get some good updates about Melody tomorrow. That'd be good. Hopefully we get a big breakthrough and they find Melody, and I wake up in the morning and they've got some sort of big press conference about it. That would be perfect. All right. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the names or why some people have the full name and then some people have the normal name. I don't know why. It's just been like that for a few days now. Something to do with YouTube. All right. I love you all. Have fun out there. Thank you to Sean for donating. I appreciate it. Thank you to Lisa for donating as well. I appreciate it. We are currently just trying to save up for, because we have to start booking everything for Samantha Murphy's trial next year. And because it's in April, the same time as sort of when Aaron Patterson's one started, we're trying to, because we have to book everything in advance to head out to Ballarat. And because it's going to be another national giant trial with media everywhere, and we have to book early again so we don't get shut out of accommodation, because that's what happened last time in Morwell. So I appreciate people like Sean and Lisa for doing that, because that'll go into the savings account so we can get that done for early next year. Well, it's not that many months away now. We're in November, in a week or so, and early next year we start prepping to head back for a 10-week trial. So it's gone quick. It really has. I can't believe we're almost in December and we were starting that trial back in April. It's taken up most of the bloody year. It's taken up most of the year. It's been insane. But yes, we'll be heading back for Samantha Murphy's murder trial. The person who murdered her, Patrick Oren Stevenson, early next year in 2026. So, yeah, thank you to those people. I appreciate it. I will see you tomorrow. Have a great time out there. Be safe out there. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Leather jacket, feeling cold against your skin. Running through the chaos, letting all the sin. Temptation in a bottle, ready for the night. Craving for the thrill, it's time to ignite. Dark desires burning bright, echoes in